Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be covering a strength focused video, specifically the foot and ankle. I'm going to be taking you through 4 different concepts. We're going to cover static, resisted, plyometric, and recovery, all to improve your foot and ankle health. Let's get started. Starting off with our static exercises, 4 simple movements. These ones are great because you can do them pretty much anywhere, whether it's at work, waiting in line, elevator, simple movements that you can do just standing. First one that we have is just simple single leg balance. And all I'm doing here, you can see I'm picking up just the one foot. I'm focused on having a good toe splay. I want to make sure I'm engaging that big toe for balance and just holding from there. Now I can do this on flat ground. That's the easier way to start out, but then as you progress, go ahead and add a foam mat to it, and that should give you a good challenge. The second exercise we have is foot doming, and essentially what that is just creating an arch underneath my foot. And so, not to be confused, sometimes it's easy to think of it as just a simple inversion of the foot and resting on the outside. So I'm not trying to do that. I'm focused on the big toe pushing out and abducting, and you'll see how that creates some space underneath the arch. Just start off with some static holds. Maybe you'll feel a little bit of fatigue in the arch, but as it gets stronger, you'll be able to maintain that through walking, running, etc. And third static exercise, we have just a simple heel raise. We're familiar with calf raises, which those are coming up. This is just a heel raise, and this is really good, especially if you're really new to strengthening the Achilles and the calf and getting those muscles up, or if you've recently had an injury or some Achilles pains going on. This is a good way of just that static hold to engage the muscle and engage the tendon without putting much stress on it. Now on the flip side, we have the toe raise. This is just building up on the metatarsal side, just pulling those toes up, holding. You don't need to pull excessively to where you feel strain, just enough to feel some engagement over the top of that foot and the shin. Let's go through the movement exercises, the resisted exercises. So this one, we got the calf and the shin focus, and I'm going to go through 2 of each one. For the calf, the first one is just a simple calf raise. I like to elevate my toes for this one. That's going to give us a really good range of motion, allowing that heel to dip down. And I'm also doing 2 versions. I'm doing one with my knees straight, and that's really focusing the upper part of the calf, the gastrocnemius. But I'm also going to do a bent leg version, which will focus more the soleus muscle, the lower calf, and the Achilles tendon. You can do this single leg, but a good progression towards that I like to use is the runner's calf raise. And this is especially good if you're a runner because it's strengthening in that position that you're using it in the sport of running. So essentially I'm just putting my leg up on the table, the box, whatever it is you have around knee height, and I'm focusing that bottom leg to just raise up, keep good control and balance, and slowly lower down. In this one, I've got my foot raised up on that foam pad, but you can of course start on flat ground. Now moving to the shins. In our static exercises, we just had the toe raise hold. Now we're actually taking that and turning it into reps. So I'm just lifting the whole front of my foot up. I'm just resting on my heels. Good control as I lower back down, not trying to rush through these. I move my feet out a little bit, and that's to increase the difficulty. So the farther my feet are out from the wall that I'm leaning on, the harder it'll be. Now to get more specific for one leg at a time, a great one that I like is the kettlebell shin raise. This one can be tricky. You do need a kettlebell that's sized well to fit over your shoe. But once you find one that fits well, I'm just gonna loop it over the top of my shoe and pretty much just control that movement of pulling my toes up and then letting it rest back down. And I want to make sure that my foot's not doing any funky side to side movement. All right, we're on plyometric exercises. The easiest way to think about plyometric is bouncing, clapping push-ups, jumping squats or lunges. Those are all plyometric exercises. We're gonna start off with just the simplest one, and that's just the hop. Something that you can do anywhere is just those single leg hops. And I even got a little movement. I might do some forward backward hops, some side hops. Progressing this to the single leg, I'm just gonna raise the one leg up and jump over the band again, side to side. You can add some objects to add some height, but I do recommend that you have a good even surface that you're doing those jumps on. To carry this over into running, what I like to do is essentially start with a jumping cadence and then add some movement forward and turn that into my run. And so this is a very useful drill if you're not quite used to the more mid or forefoot striking and you're still landing on your heel pretty hard. This is a really useful drill just to get that feeling of bounciness of your foot, get the arch engaged, and carry that over into your running gait. And then of course, as we've covered on this channel, the other great way is to just wear the minimal shoes or barefoot shoes just with your day-to-day activities, whether that's walking, running, hiking, just building them into your daily lifestyle is engaging and strengthening the foot and ankle just on a day-to-day basis. That gives us a really good base for 3 different kinds of exercise categories that you can do. To finish out now, let's talk about just some recovery techniques, stretches, and tissue work that you can do to recover after your strengthening. First, simple one that I recommend everybody do is just rolling your foot out on the ball. This is getting the intrinsic muscles under the arch, getting the plantar fascia loosened up. I'm following a bit of a triangular pattern, so I'm kind of going from the metatarsals on one side to the other, going down through the arch, hitting the heel. I'm kind of hitting that triangle from heel up to metatarsals. And then with that, I can go ahead and give my calves a good foam roll. So I like to start with the foam roll, just loosen everything up. I'm gonna roll side to side, get all those areas, and when I find a really tender spot, I'm gonna hold on there for a little bit, hold that pressure, maybe move my ankle up and down, see if I can get that release. Now, if you're not able to quite get that release, that's where I take the massage ball. It's not the most comfortable, but it's a little more effective at getting those deep, tight spots out. Lastly, for the calves, we'll give them a good stretch. So I'm gonna elevate my toes up on that same foam pad, and now I'm just gonna stretch the calves. Start with my straight leg, get that upper calf, the gastrocnemius stretched out. I can also then do a bent leg version where I'm gonna let those knees push up towards the toes and just drive my heel down. That's gonna get more the Achilles and the soleus. These nuts. Lastly, we'll finish with some easy recovery for the shins. I like to use a massage gun here. I'm gonna go up and down the shin, but I'm also moving my foot up and down because the shin muscle is responsible for pulling the toes up. That's why you can see I'm using a band, or you could use a strap or whatnot to physically pull it up. That way you're not actually flexing the muscle when you're trying to relax it. We can finish with a good tibialis stretch and metatarsal stretch. So I'm just taking that foot behind me, pressing those toes down and the top of the foot down into the ground, and just holding that stretch. I should feel it good from the top of the foot and up through the shin. All right, that wraps things up for us. To recap, we covered 4 categories. We covered the static exercises, movement and resisted exercises, plyometric exercises, and recovery techniques for you to strengthen and mobilize your foot and ankle. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments what you've been doing, if you're familiar with these, or if you have any other exercises or stretches that you like. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Train like hell, out.